right, marketers, grab your overpriced standing desks and that oat milk latte you love so much, because welcome to Notorious B2B, the only show where we treat LinkedIn drama like breaking news and expose the real B2B marketing sins.
Yeah, think of us like SNL meets TMZ, but for the people who argue about whether gated content is still a thing or not. I'm Task Bober, B2B landing page nerd and lovable troll on LinkedIn.
And I'm Tim Davidson, the guy making TikTok-style videos and cutting fruit on LinkedIn. Together, we're cutting out nonsense and roasting the most ridiculous trends in B2B marketing.
Because if we have to suffer through another 10 things getting engaged taught me about B2B sales, we're taking you all down with us.
Let's get into it.
Wait, where are you?
I'm in Montana.
Oh, for what?
It's like a vacation.
You are not on here during vacation.
Oh yeah, the commitment's real here.
Okay, I'm going on vacation in a month and I will not be on here, just so everybody knows. Okay.
I'm gonna do a solo episode. Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Oh, that's gonna be so fun. That's so fun. Who are you gonna have on?
Myself.
Just you.
It's gonna be two of me. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna do two different videos and stitch them together. It's gonna be great.
Oh shit, that would be hilarious. You and you.
Or do I get a wig and try to be you?
Yes, I think that's better. Let's do that.
Just like screenshot your background here and use that as my background.
Yes, and a wig.
A little bit, yeah.
I would love to see how you would impersonate me. You'd have to take the glasses off.
Yeah, this is true.
Okay.
I'd go for it. That'd be good. That'd be fun.
Yes, you have August 2nd is the week I'm heading out. So you have some time to prep and get your wig from Amazon, or where do people buy wigs?
I already got them.
You already have a wig.
I was prepared for this at some point.
Okay, welcome to Notorious B2B, episode 17. Holy shit, look at us. We've been doing this for 17 weeks.
If you've done 15.
50.
50? Well,
we're there. We're getting there.
We're getting there.
I think we'll definitely hit 50.
We'll see.
For sure. It's going to take us almost a year.
Hopefully the drama keeps coming. That's the problem.
I think
we need the inputs. That's the thing. I can't just make up stuff. Oh, we could make up drama, I guess.
We could make up stuff. ChatGPT does it all the time and people take that as a freaking Bible. Why can't we?
It might be a thing. I might do that.
Okay. So, some fun stuff this week. You ready?
Well, I'm ready. Yeah, we have a docket.
We have a docket. First, kind of circle back, but also just flagging, because this is like next level, right? We talked about gift card scams and AI, people using AI to like scam B2B companies out of their gift cards, which is minor, it's peanuts at the end of the day. However, there are then sophisticated hackers who are now using this AI tool to build phishing websites in 30 seconds. Okay, so the background is Okta actually discovered this. There are these hackers who are using Vercel's VO, which is just like this chatbot, and they can create websites using only natural language prompts. So what these scammers ended up doing was creating these phishing sites that look like legitimate company login pages, Okta being one of them. They also did it with Microsoft 365, some cryptocurrency services, but obviously Okta being like a security company, like, hello. So they created a page that looks like the login page, and then they use that to harvest users' information and credentials, and then go to the actual login page, log in and get access to sensitive information. And then
Side note.
Yes.
I've been duped by these, so I think I understand how they work. It's happened to me before, basically. I've opened a new credit card and basically you Google,
like
online,
Chase login page or whatever.
Or for this one, because there was a new credit card, like I basically had to like activate it. And I typed in like online activation or whatever, Chase online activation credit card. And like the first thing that came up, it was like Chase made
like
up
a
domain,
subdomain.
or it was like Chasey or something like that .com. And like after I submitted it, I could tell it didn't work but I gave them all that information.
Oh no! And they're over here like, "What's your?"
And this was like 3 years ago though. Like imagine people be able to do these at scale. Like that's crazy.
Yes. And so that's exactly what they did. Okta initially discovered the threat for themselves, but then when they went to investigate, that's when they found all these other companies in there. They contacted Vercel, and they're working with Okta to remove all these phishing sites and then create mechanisms to prevent abuse. However, cloned versions of this VO tool are now circulating on GitHub. So they may fix it within this tool, but people are just going to replicate it and it's going to go really fast. So what I didn't have in here though from the article was Okta, their head of like threat security or something like that. But he was just like, we can't keep being reactive because scammers and hackers are just going to be more innovative. They're going to move a lot faster, and we can't just keep reacting because at some point the threat's going to be real and we won't account for it because we'll be too late. So anyway, that is where we're heading, using AI for evil instead of good.
I mean, I must say, I hate scammers. Obviously, they're annoying, but they're impressive. They are very impressive. Like, imagine if it was, it's the classic. If you just put your time towards like something that wasn't illegal, imagine what you could build. But where's the fun in that?
Okay, but listen to this fun story. You know how I boast about 400 websites, right? That I've like worked on 400 websites. No. One of the companies that I was part of, we actually had 389 websites under our wing. And these 389 websites sat on 2 servers, server 1, server 2. Okay, because there were so many websites. A hacker got into our servers and sat there for a few months, understanding like how everything worked, how often things were updated, what our security protocols were, which were, spoiler alert, not that much. And then finally decided to hack our servers by putting a ransom note on the top of our top 5 websites. And it said in very poor English, give us, X amount of money and we'll hand your servers back to you. Obviously, we panicked. We had to create a war. It was insane. So me rebuilding 389 sites was because we won the receiving end of this. So we rebuilt. So then we cleaned out the servers, rebuilt them. We got a backup from November. This happened like February or whatever. And then had to make all the updates from November to February again. All the updates that we had made across all sites. He got back in and did it again. He waited till we got all the updates done and he did it again.
Was he already in, or did he hack it again? Do you think he already had, he had something like plugged into like even deeper?
Yes. So he already was in there. We didn't clear all the directories. He had access from like our backups, whatever. We got in. So when I say 400, it sounds like really freaking impressive, but also the way it happened was like traumatizing. I mean, we were on night shifts. It was insane. So anyway, I just want to let you know, hackers have been hacking since then, and AI is just another tool for them to do it much better than we ever could.
So did you have to give them money to get them out, or?
No, we ended up having to get all new servers. We moved from, we were on DNN.NET Nuke, which is like a 0.01% CMS market share CMS. And we moved to Adobe Experience Manager. We all hated it. We moved over. And yeah, so we just basically rebuilt all those sites from scratch. It was insane.
That's annoying.
Yeah, yeah. But it was a good way to learn. Very quickly learned a lot of things. Okay. That's the just flagging on the AI. Next, you want me to cover this one?
Oh, yeah.
About the layoffs? Okay.
Next one.
Microsoft.
It's the next flag. It's a big flag.
It's a big flag.
Microsoft laying off some more employees, about 4% of their workforce, 9,100 employees. The notable thing here is this actually comes about 2 months after cutting 6,000 employees. So they're just keep going down here.
It all happened in like their gaming division.
Okay.
Not all. Most of it happened in the gaming division this time around. Last time it was Microsoft itself, and this side was like Xbox and all of those guys. And so the internal memo from Phil Spencer, which is the Xbox boss, which was hilarious that they called him Xbox boss because,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. To position gaming for enduring success and allow us to focus on strategic growth areas, we will end or decrease work in certain areas of the business and follow Microsoft's lead in removing layers of management to increase agility and effectiveness. Is that not the most fucking B2B quote you've ever heard in your entire life? It says so much without saying nothing. You're going to go do a chat GPT.
Yeah, I don't know how you know that, but yeah, I'm doing that.
I know it because I see you've selected it. The only reason you would ever select all of that. I can see it. We have a shared doc. I can see that you selected it. Yes.
I thought you hacked into my system.
Shit, I should have just kept going with like, I'm a hacker in your system. That'd be hilarious. you'd believe me.
Let's see what the chat
Let's
says.
see what ChatGPT says.
The chat says it shows signs of being written or at least edited by AI
Okay, but here's the thing.
or
People have been,
corporate communications.
yeah, corporate communications have been talking like this since before AI. This has nothing to do with
Yeah.
AI. Like you and I could write this just because we've been trained to speak like this, to speak
We're the
with many
worst.
words. I know we are the worst.
Corporate's the
Okay.
worst.
And then speaking of AI and layoffs, our buddy Salesforce, what's his name?
Benny,
Benioff. He did an interview with the Business Insider and he basically said, hey, AI does 50% of our work. But Business Insider's Peter Kafka, he said Benioff has flair for big numbers and points out that Salesforce's stock is actually down 18% year to date, suggesting that he's trying to like be part of the AI hype, part investor sweet talk to get that stock price to go up. And obviously, the question that they're saying is, hey, Salesforce employed 76,000 people in January 2025, but then cut 1,000 roles in February. So Kafka asked the obvious follow up. If half the work is automated, what happens to roughly 38,000 jobs? And then the other side of that, which is actually a very, very conversation provoking thought, is if Salesforce truly automates, large swaths of its own ops customers might be doing the same, meaning that they'd need less Salesforce seats and licenses. And you can replace Salesforce with any other tools. If all customers, every company is becoming efficient, would they need software like they did before?
well,
You know
no,
what I mean?
but you have to fight fire with fire, right? Like
Yeah.
because I think everyone else is doing it, and I think Salesforce is huge, obviously. So I think smaller customers are already doing that. They're gonna hire less. They have to.
Yeah.
So the only way for him to make more money is to cut their workforce too at some point.
Yeah.
Do more with AI.
Yeah, so the end of this article actually, which I didn't have in here again, I always keep the juicy stuff out of our document,
Yeah,
but
someone's gonna hack it anyway. So
we don't want people releasing the stories before we do,
right,
although these are all stories that have been released before we ever get to them.
yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Let's Noodle segment.
Number one. So there's that new movie out with Brad Pitt, F1 movie.
Yes.
But notably, Brad Pitt is in it. Okay.
Yeah, that's all we need to know.
Yeah. Essentially, Expensify, but they have a product placement in it. So this is Brad Pitt. Here's a LinkedIn post about it by Nick Lafferty, growth marketing at Profound. He says apparently it costs Expensify $40 million for its extensive product placement in the F1 movie this weekend. So this was from a couple of days. The movie came out last week.
Yeah.
June 27th. The movie is very good, he says, but they're expecting a 5-to-1 ROI. $40 million in the product placement, 5-to-1 ROI. Interesting. There's a picture of it. So basically, Brad Pitt's in his, whatever, F1 gear, driving gear, and Expensify's on it. So is
like a billion other logos, but like, would you ever look at that and think, oh, what is this half-ass XP?
Yeah, because actually, so to your
picture?
point, it's at the zipper. So when they zip it, it says expense. And
Yeah.
then buy.
Not even expense. It just says expa.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of other logos. I feel like unless you actually have a notable logo, like I see the Benz logo, as blurry as it is from up here. I see the EA logo. Those are the two that I actually know.
Geico, EA Sports.
Oh yeah, Geico. Okay.
I don't even know what the 7 is. This thing.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that 7? So I feel like I don't know how they're calculating this factor.
Well, I think it's just plucked out of thin air. But to be fair,
like most B2B math.
To be fair, I did look it up. So I don't understand it's hard to calculate the views because basically it's based off like theaters and like how many people are in the theater at the time. But basically the opening weekend did $144 million.
Okay.
And that actually ranks about 37th in all time of like opening weekend movies, 144 million globally. So it's not, I mean, it's not bad. Like that's pretty good. I think it was actually right below Lilo and Stitch, the newer movie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But that's a good sign. Like it says it's one of Brad Pitt's best opening weekends. So there's going to be a bunch of people watching this movie. Okay. 2.5-hour movie. If he's wearing the jacket the whole time, you're going to see it a lot.
If he's wearing it the whole time.
Well,
that's a very important caveat. Okay.
That's what they do. They wear their jacket.
He's just wearing it the whole movie. I'm gonna go watch this movie just to see how long he's wearing.
I have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might not be a bad buy. I don't know, but 5-to-1 ROI. Like, how do you even calculate that?
Yeah, and also you're assuming that all of these people, not you, they are
Yeah.
assuming that all these people are in in market for whatever. What is Expensify? It's like a payroll, not even a
Yeah.
payroll. It's like for expenses, right? I'm looking it up and going to their website, like as if a B2B website's going to tell me what it actually is. Spend management software.
Yeah.
Yes.
For receipts
For
and
receipts and
expenses.
expenses. Okay. At least some clarity there. The fastest way to do expenses. Great. Love that. Immediately tells me what this company does. Sorry
Yeah.
for the impromptu B2B website audit. Okay, great. But is everybody doing expenses? No. Even if there are people there who are like corporate workers who do expenses, what kind of pull do they have to go to their HR person and be like, hey, actually, we need to buy Expensify. So I don't know
Yeah.
how they're calculating this ROI. Maybe it's like a very small percentage of that.
Well, so 5 to 1
Five
ROI, it's 200,
$5.
it's 200 million,
Mhm.
right? So the movie, obviously, we're looking at it from like the opening weekend. It's been a week. Like that's a lot of views. And the movie's gonna go on, like people are gonna watch this on Netflix and like, or actually I think it's an Apple movie. So they're gonna be watching it on Apple like 5 years from now.
Soon. It's like the long lasting effect of it.
Yeah. And I don't think
Yeah.
they have dynamic product placement yet. So I don't think they're gonna like switch it out based on the highest bid, based on who's what. Oh, maybe. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just looking at the pricing, $5 per member per month, a big company. I get it.
Mhm.
Like, so I don't know. I don't know if
Yeah.
this, like, I wish I had $40 million to spend. That'd be great.
It's so funny because this is coming at a time where like most B2B companies are saying, hey, our budgets are getting cut, or people are getting cut, and Expensify is over here like, yeah, we'll spend 40 mil on Brad Pitt.
But hey, look, like maybe they're killing it, right? Like
Do a zoom info check real quick
there are only 211 members on LinkedIn at least.
on LinkedIn. Let's see. Expensify. Don't mind us doing research during the podcast.
Well, that's the thing. I actually figured they were a huge company.
You
Not only
did?
because of that. Yeah, because $40 million, by the way, for one thing. But also not just because that they had the biggest booth at SaaStr 2 years ago. This is like a
I mean,
double-decker booth.
they're not
Double-decker.
tiny. Their revenue is 141 mil.
Not as much the opening weekend of F1 though.
Almost as much. And they're funding 5 rounds of funding, total funding amount. They've only taken 38 mil in funding. So sounds like a profitable company.
It must be.
Yeah.
Because this might be brilliant.
Yeah, it's
Because
actually
I just
a pretty good
said,
play.
I don't know. I thought they were a bigger company. I just said that. I
Yeah.
personally just said that.
Yeah.
So maybe they're trying to go
I heard
enterprise and they think this could help that.
Yeah, maybe. Also, people are talking about it. Like, you don't hear B2B doing product placements in large movies, even Super Bowl, things like that.
Mhm.
Who did was it Salesforce or HubSpot or someone did like an ad during the Super Bowl and everyone on LinkedIn was talking about it? It was like the only B2B company or something like that who had done it. It was something fun. I bet it was Salesforce. And then, so it's like when we find out like that they're doing something that we don't commonly see, like we're so used to content syndication, we're like, yeah, everybody fucking does content syndication, but not
Yeah.
everybody is putting their logo on Brad Pitt.
True.
That's like when Air did Bonnie Blue. We covered that shit nonstop for like a couple of weeks. So that's the kind of stuff that, is going to create a ruckus. And so maybe that 5-1 isn't just the movie. It's like people are going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that goes into it. Yeah.
Like this dude who just did too.
But also, I mean, how many companies under 200 employees have 40 million to spend like that?
If their revenue is 141, like look at how much they've spent. They've handed over $40 million for that product placement, which is like an insane risk and bet. Like the people who approve that, all hail.
Good for them. That's what I say. But we'll see how it plays
Super Bowl,
out, maybe.
just for anybody who's skeptical, Super Bowl, Salesforce had a Super Bowl commercial with Matthew McConaughey, 2025. So.
That's different. They got a lot of money.
No, but I'm saying that people talk about those things. Like we don't see B2B usually doing this stuff, But yeah, Salesforce has a ton of money. Okay. Yeah. So that's super interesting. Money. Speaking of money, you're going to cover this because you sent this to me
good.
literally 30 minutes before. Yeah, it's super interesting. Tell me all about it.
This one is super interesting. Okay. So Oracle just closed a huge deal.
How huge?
$30 billion. deal.
Holy shit. That's going to be the biggest deal in like B2B history. What do you think? That
So
wasn't like a merger acquisition play.
so the Financial Times says Oracle shares hit record, but I don't know if I don't think that's like the I don't know. It might be the biggest deal
Mm,
of all time, definitely for Oracle,
yeah.
which Oracle's a big company. But that's crazy. So $30 billion. So basically, Samir Jahek, he posted about it
Who is
and
he
it
though?
had
CEO of Sales Motion?
yeah,
Whatever that
sales
is.
motion sounds like a sales type of thing. I just but he
What
put
gave it
it
away?
yeah.
Yeah.
But the interesting angle is here is an Oracle AE just closed a $30 million deal. So an AE closed this. So what's interesting here is like, okay, well, that's a big commission check. But he just goes on, blah, 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 whatever. I don't care about that. What I care about is did that AE who closed this deal, which I did find out later is that it was a deal with OpenAI. That was the deal. So whoever this AE that
Oh,
closed it,
it was. Wait, so they closed OpenAI?
yeah, is whatever that deal was. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that was the customer.
Yes, that's the customer that they closed.
Wow. Okay. Big company, big logo, big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So big deal. The question is, did that AE make $300 million, if assuming it's a 1% commission check,
Oof.
or did they kind of cap it at like 100K, or like
100. I mean, you and I were texting about this, and I was like, we definitely need to talk about this because 1000%, I would bet my life on this that they 100% capped that commission.
yeah,
And even if they didn't, they would find a way not
just
to
gonna be a
pay him.
loophole. Yeah,
Yeah, they would find a loophole not to hand over $300 million to this AE.
I mean,
I would bet.
yeah, I tried to find their commission structure. I just couldn't find it. I don't know how to. I looked on like RepView. I looked on Glassdoor, all that stuff. I just couldn't find it.
And
It's also
1%'s
outside
like,
my
it's pretty
understanding.
low, right? Like it's pretty conservative
Yeah, I'm just going
for
low
commission.
here.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
assuming it's more than that.
When
Like
I was
usually,
when I was an AE, obviously there's a totally different model. But when I was an AE, it was 20% on any new business, 10% on repeat business. So I could
mm,
only get 20% the first year,
mm,
10% after that. If it came through like an agency, so like a third party was placing, or buying from us for this company, then I would only get 5%. And then the agency would get the other 5%. So it's still 10%, but I'd have to split it with this agency. And then, yes, there was a cap on if it was a bigger company, like an enterprise type company, then I couldn't get 20%. I would only
yeah,
get
maybe a
10%. So
cap.
I'm sure they have, and that was me in like, at a TV station or whatever. This is going to be, I'm sure SAS would keep this nice and tight in place. We should ask like Jen Allen or one of the like sales influencers
Yeah, I
whether
assume so.
it can.
And the other thing you mentioned was first year. Like, what if this is like
Yes.
a 10-year contract?
Yeah.
So maybe they only get for. I mean, still, don't get me wrong. Like, it's still gonna be a huge check if it's 1 year out of 10.
They're going to finagle any sort of way they can entice
Yeah.
him to take only like, you know, maybe a few 100,000.
Oh yeah. Now
There's not going to be much more than that.
the comments kind of cracked me up because one of my favorites was from and it is actually the top comment. Carl Ferreira, who actually is really good at comments. He says, "I heard it was a hot inbound lead that closed in 60 days. They were ready to buy." Which at that point, it's like, yeah, that's true.
I mean, like,
Maybe.
ChatGPT, Oracle, the CEOs were probably hanging on a yacht somewhere. Like, was it
Yeah.
really the AE that closed it? We don't know the details. We'd love to hear it, but you know what? Big companies like that, they seal that shit up. They don't
Yeah.
like knowing their business.
But there's also a number of comments saying it was probably like a deal that size is probably like a C-level
Yes,
like
I literally said
relationship.
it. Yeah. Yes.
So no one's really getting that
Yeah.
money.
No one's getting that money.
Which I mean, fine, fine,
Yeah.
fine.
But that is an insane deal. I think the A is just like due
Yeah, it's a
process.
crazy
He's
deal.
just on there, but 100% he's not making money off of
Hey,
that one.
good for Oracle.
Yeah. Good for
Maybe,
Oracle and the dinner that he and the CEO had on the shared yacht. Okay.
probably. Or a
Next.
LinkedIn ad that killed it. One
Or
LinkedIn ad just
LinkedIn
killed that.
ad.
I wonder
Imagine
what the
that.
source was. Yeah.
How pissed would you be? Because you run LinkedIn ads for companies at a fixed price. And say you were running LinkedIn ads for Oracle, and then they got this deal from a LinkedIn ad that you ran, and you got nothing. You got your standard monthly fee from that. How pissed would you be?
I mean, it's not like it's in my account. Like I couldn't do anything about it, but I'd probably try to be like, hey, can we increase my rate by $1,000 maybe?
Yeah, by $1,000. The most like pathetic ask ever. Like, hey, so hey,
Well, or
me over
can
here.
can we just sign a what? But here's the thing. You can't do that as an external person because then it just becomes attribution war. They'll find any
Yes.
way to say, "Oh, yeah, I know like Salesforce says it was from this campaign, but really our SDR met the intern at SaaStr in 2001." Something
Oh
like that.
yeah. Yeah.
Like there's always something.
Yeah,
Which
1,000%.
I would probably do the same thing.
Okay, so we got this one sent to us, which was hilarious. But news broke out about this guy in India, an engineer, a software engineer, who has made sure that he was employed at 4 to 5 startups at a time. So someone submitted
So
this to
brilliant.
us and just sent us the tweet of the CEO that kind of was the whistleblower for this dude. And so the tweet says, and it's by this guy Suhail Doshi, co-founder of analytics platform Mixpanel. He's actually ex, he doesn't work there anymore, and founder of Playground AI, exposed this guy, Soham Parekh, in a scathing social media post claiming that the India-based developer had been preying on YC companies and more by maintaining employment at 3 to 4 startups simultaneously. His tweet says, PSA, there's a guy named Soham Parekh in India who works at 3 to 4 startups at the same time. He's been preying on YC companies and more. Beware, I fired this guy in his first week and told him to stop lying and scamming people. He has not stopped a year later. No more excuses. The funny thing is he puts this tweet out and then starts to get DMs from other founders who are like, oh shit, I hired him and fired him because like he would overperform in the interviews and just he had this super impressive resume that had all of these big AI companies on there in Silicon Valley, get the job. And then because he had so many commitments, he wasn't able to keep up, he would get fired for under delivering. But now they find like, oh, it's because he's working at 3 to 4
Right.
places. He's freaking drowning, but he's just collecting the paychecks while he can. The other thing is the whistleblower founder, Sohail, he was like, you look at his resume, it looks super impressive. But if you go to any of these links and stuff that he's given as like portfolio of his work or these, like it's all fake. So
Oh,
90% of his resume is like fabricated just to get into these jobs. And that's it. I'm going to share my screen and show you guys his sweet, sweet face. Like, who wouldn't hire this face? Okay.
I'm a
Like,
little
look at his
confused by
little
the end
face.
game here, though. Like, if you get fired in the first week, you
Get
don't
more
get.
money.
Yeah, but you don't get. If you get fired in the first week, you don't get. What do you get? You don't get any
Well,
kickback.
he got fired in the first week at this company, but some companies are keeping him on 3, 4, 5 months. It
Uh,
was just at Sohail's that he got. But the funny thing is, here are some quotes from other founders, right? Founder CEO of Lindy. Holy shit, we hired this guy a week ago and fired him this morning. He did so incredibly well in interviews, must have a lot of training. Another CEO of Fleet AI. He has been doing this for years and works at more than 4 startups at any given time. Then Michelle Lim from Warp. She said, we just signed him up for a work trial next week, saw this tweet, canceled the work trial. Thank you for sharing. So he continues to do this. Now, the article goes on to talk about how there's actually groups of people who will like have WhatsApp groups or whatever, and they all plot and talk about working at multiple places
hmm
together. I don't know why I have so much sympathy for but he's just trying to make ends meet by doing
I think
three to
he's
four
dumb.
ends. But
He's dumb.
here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. There is actually someone. This is CEO of Anti-Metal, which is a baller freaking name, by the way. He said that Parekh had worked at his company as their first engineering hire back in 2022. He was super smart, super likable. I enjoyed working with him, but we realized that he was working in multiple companies and let him go. So if he had actually just focused in one place, he probably would be employed for a long period of time, but he got greedy and
Well, that's the
started applying
thing.
at these places.
I think he can probably do 2 and keep them longer. Why do 4? The interview process still takes time. Like even if you're good at it, you have
Yes.
to like there's gonna be multiple interviews. Like why not
Mm-hmm.
just keep 2, do them like half-assed fine, but enough to get by, which you can probably do in many companies, and keep those long. Like I don't understand the 3 to 4. That makes no sense.
You know what? It's the greed that gets me because
Yeah.
the hilarious thing is how many people are laid off and looking for jobs right now? This mofo is scoring four jobs at a time
If you can,
when
why not?
all he would need is just one and stay employed and probably live decently well. He's working for like companies who are in Silicon Valley, like probably paying him a decent wage, even though he is overseas, like comparatively to him working
Hmm.
for a startup there, right? I mean, lower for them, but just in general. And the greed, but like, how is he getting interviews? That's my, he's getting interviews, he's scoring the jobs, but he's losing them because he's overcommitting to all of these companies. So it's like, what the hell?
I think we mentioned like he has the resume, right? Like it probably helps get a bunch of interviews. But yeah, I think he just loves the game now. It's
But
stupid to
here,
be honest.
this is the kicker. This is the kicker. All these CEOs are blaming remote work culture for this. Not that there's a group of people who are like abusing it, whatever.
Yeah.
They're blaming remote work culture. And I think that is really stupid because at the end of the day, it's like when I get hired, they go through extensive background checks.
Hmm.
You're not, where was the background check with this guy? He's obviously going for these startups who he knows aren't doing like full due diligence. They're all part of the YC
Hmm.
universe, right? So he's going to all of these. But the problem with YC and those startups are they're super aggressive. They want to move fast. And so if you're not moving fast, like that's going to set off a red flag for them, even if they don't, do these background checks. But I don't know. I feel like it's very off to blame remote culture versus you just not doing due diligence with your hires.
Well, I think it's easy to blame because it's not possible if it wasn't remote. Like,
Yes.
you can't do 3 to 4 jobs. You can't even if they're neighbors. These
Yes.
companies, you can't just like
It's just like
hop every hour.
going to
Like
lunch.
yeah, like I mean, in theory you could, I guess, if they're neighbors.
just for just
But
one
like
hour here and there.
yeah, like that's still. But so to be fair, like that's the best solution is say, oh, okay, work from home is the problem because
Hmm.
you physically can't do that if it wasn't work from home.
Yeah,
But
I
also,
know.
yeah, take some blame. You hired the guy. Like, what do
Yeah,
you?
you hire the guy. Like, do better.
It's on you. Yeah. And
Look
also
at your
the
hires.
people that didn't fire him after 1 week, that's on you.
Yeah,
Like that's way on you. If you knew this, and you're like blah blah blah, like, and you kept them for 3 months. Now they're getting severance. That's on you.
yeah. I don't even know if they do severance for overseas hires.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and especially not if you then get fired.
I
If
mean,
you
yeah,
get fired, you don't get severance.
Pep, at least,
Okay,
yeah.
that's kind of main stuff, but I do have a couple of circle backs here.
All
Now
right,
that we're doing
all
circle
right.
backs at the end. Look at us keeping on time. See, this format's good.
It's
We
good.
iterate as we go. See, we get to talk about all the fun stuff while we have energy
I see
rather
you're
than rushing
doing
through it. See, not just a hat rack,
smart.
my friend. Okay, not just a hat rack. I
Yeah,
got some brains up here
graduated.
sometimes.
It's nice.
Graduated, my video skills too. Okay, circling back, Builder AI. I know we're talking about them for the fourth week in a row, and people are like, I'm sick of it. But the drama continues, okay? So the company they've discovered has about 50 to 100 million in debt, but only 5 to 10 million in assets. That's how far away they are from their
Wow.
valuation of $1 billion. The 700 Indian engineers that they were using as AI were paid $8 to $15 an hour. Not surprising, but sometimes when you put the numbers in there, it's like, come on, guys, really? This is like such abuse at scale. Natasha was their chatbot, and that was the AI cell. And what it does is it analyzes all these business requirements. And then they even had an ad for it,
Yeah.
calling it like Natasha AI, right? They were hoping to sell Natasha to Microsoft. The hilarious thing was Natasha was actually a running joke in their engineering department. They called it a call center with better marketing. I'm curious to know how Natasha actually worked because I get annoyed if ChatGPT takes 8 seconds to think and respond. So how are 700 engineers responding? Like what's the turnaround time there? We'll
Uh,
need to dig in a little bit deeper. They ran this AI scam for 8 years, which is impressive in itself. Again, AI for evil, not good. Like, this is insane that they put so much effort. They could have actually built a nice product in 8 years to sell. And then for years, how they got away with it is they did financial audits from a good friend, right? A friend of the CEO did the financial audits, and that's what the investors bought into. So the first time a proper auditor came in, shit fell apart.
I'm pretty sure it's quite literally fraud. Like,
it's
like investor fraud or something like that.
Yes. And that is why they are right now being investigated heavily.
Yeah. I actually think I'm assuming at first they were like, oh, we'll just fake it till we make it. Then we'll actually build the AI. We'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
But then they just became way too in debt. And it's just like, all right, we're just going to keep going with this. It's like the lies on top of the lies.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never ending.
Never ending. Yeah. So it continues and we will update you as we know more. Okay. Duolingo. A few months ago, the CEO, Louis von An. Is he French or German? Because you're kind of going between the two.
It's Louis von An. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's both of those.
It's both of those. He said that they're going to replace people with AI. We covered that. People were freaking outraged, right? They experienced a lot of backlash. But when we had talked about it, I was like, but you know what? Their stock prices are up. So they got what they wanted because the investors or whoever was Duolingo public. I don't even know. But their stock prices were up.
Well, they have to be public.
Yeah, they have to be public, their stock prices. Despite the backlash, though, 2 months later, they are now down 5.9%. And they're trying to recover and walk back the AI talk and saying, hey, we're going to do it to make processes more efficient, but we're not really going to get rid of people. But people have been canceling for the last 2 months since the announcement came out. So they're kind of trying to climb back up. The marketing team's doing a lot of what their marketing team does to win favor back. So TBD on that. But that is what we have for circling back. Anything on your end?
I think Duolingo's fine. Those ups and downs.
Yeah, you were like, they're going to be fine.
Those ups and downs are nothing. Like, I think in a couple of months, people are going to forget and then it'll continue. Like, this is nothing. Like,
check back here for Duolingo stock prices. Okay. I'm really impatient. And I told you last week that I had a surprise for you.
Okay. That was going to be on LinkedIn.
And at first I was just going to post it on LinkedIn and have you watch, but then I wouldn't get to see your reaction. So I want to get your reaction on the show.
Oh, geez.
See, there's actually one last round of stuff that needs to go through, but I'm way too impatient for that. So I'm going to play this and I want to show it to you. And I'm so excited. Okay. So a few months ago, when we decided to launch our podcast, some people, our friends, caught wind of it, obviously, because our friends are the only ones who were paying attention to anything. And Zheng decided to send me an audio note of him just like rapping a jingle for us, which I was harassing him about when we were at Spring. Well, he ended up doing it. And I was like, you know what? I was going to just send it to you because the audio was like so good. But instead of doing that, I actually sent it to our editor and I sent her Exit 5 when Zheng and Jeff Porter did Exit 5's theme song. You remember that? And they did like a music video.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyway, I had her make a music video for Notorious B2B and I'm going to play that for us right now. Yeah, music video. It's got Zheng's music in there. And then obviously our editor, Lay, shout out. She's been amazing. She built this out. And then we're going to post it hopefully tomorrow. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, we have time, so I'm going to cover it. It's going to be so fun. Hopefully it does it.
There we go.
It's the notorious B2B, the notorious B2B. Hosted by TNT, every episode explosive like TNT. It's like SNL meets TMZ, but for the marketers who live and breathe B2B. It's the notorious B2B, the notorious B2B. B2B warriors, marketers, euphoria, the memes and the drama you crave in one glorious show. Two incredible hosts, the notorious Taz and Tim duo. If you know, you know. I bet that you're probably thinking there's a podcast about every topic, even drama on LinkedIn. Don't front like you ain't been craving this. Everybody has an opinion, but very few saying it. Look around, there's a whole lot of shady biz. We taking it and breaking it down. We're not afraid to discuss all the cringe. Professionally unhinged reality TV that marketers wanna binge. All the up-to-date topics, you can bank on it. We give it airtime to anything chaotic. Only 2 rules are be funny, stay honest. Rizzle or a paid profit, go to landing page audits. It's the notorious B2B, the notorious B2B. Hosted by TNT, every episode explosive like TNT. It's like SNL meets TMZ, but for the marketers who live and breathe B2B. It's the notorious B2B, the notorious B2B.
Damn.
How good was that? Was it good?
That was so good. So you sent me the audio before, or maybe that was like the first draft.
Yeah, yeah.
But the video editing, Layout did it herself.
She did. I mean, it was so funny
really
because my husband is not easy to impress, like at all. He thinks half the shit, I mean, most of the shit that all of us do is just like not funny, very cringe, whatever. Anyway,
fair.
I showed him this and he's like, oh shit, Lay did really well. I'm like, I
She
know,
killed it.
she killed it. You should see the first draft that she did, and then it was already great. And then I made some tweaks, and I told her, I was like, you know what would be funny is if you drop little Easter eggs in there of stories that we've covered and like notorious. So I was like the G2 paywall, Exit 5 Drive, but like the engineers with Builder.ai and like Deal and Rippling. That stuff is like hilarious. So I was like,
That was
okay.
good.
It was good, right?
That was
and
really
so we got to post it on our YouTube. We're going to post it on LinkedIn, obviously. I mean, just killing it. She just killed it. I told her
That
to
was
put her
really
name
good.
at the end, even though I don't want to share her. But
She
was
doesn't like that hype.
"No."
No
She
free
does
plugs
not.
out here. No free plugs.
She literally said in her email, we don't do free plugs. Tim says so himself. So I'm not going to put my name in there. I'm like, okay. But shout out
I like her more. No.
to our amazing, amazing editor who we refuse to share with anybody.
Yeah, Lay is all you get. And it's not
Lay
even a real
is
name. So.
all you get. It's not even a real. I guess it's not. Like, it's not her real full
Well,
name.
technically, like, yeah,
It's part of it. Yeah. Like, Tass is only part of my name.
like legal name, not Lay.
No, legal name's not Lay.
So you can't.
Anyway,
find her.
so that was a good way to end our episode. I couldn't wait. I'm like that person who buys a gift and it's like a surprise. And then it's like 2 weeks before Christmas. I'm like, can I give you a gift? You're going to love your gift. I want to give it to you.
Yeah, you love the cliffhangers. I hate them. So
But see, wasn't that good? So
yeah, that was really good.
Ding sent us just like a little snippet of him rapping it. And then he went and outdid himself and friggin' like
Yeah,
did the music
Both
and
were
all
great.
of it, the whole thing. And he sent it to me and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to send this to Tim. Retention.
Plummet.
Plummet.
See ya.
And that's a wrap on Notorious B2B, where we expose the nonsense and remind you that most B2B marketing is just a very expensive guessing game.
Don't and post a passive aggressive LinkedIn poll about it. We'll still find you.
And if you have B2B drama we should cover, slide into our DMs. We accept screenshots, leaked internal memos, and questionable brand rebrands.
Until next time, keep your marketing unhinged and your LinkedIn bio free of the words growth hacker. See you later.
Later, skater.